Good morning, everybody. Call the meeting to order. And let's start out with an approval of the draft minutes of August 25th.
There's a couple of changes maybe we could note. The 27-5-10 loan request. Which one is that? Can we go over that? Is that the contract people?
No,
I don't think.
yeah.
Mike didn't second that.
So Mike was in the position where Scott is. Scott had abstained.
Yeah.
And so the second on that was, I believe, Jim.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Could have been. Yeah, I think you're right.
With those changes, I'll move.
Are there other changes, Mike, or just that?
I think that's it. I see my name on here a lot. Motion by Mike, second by Bruce.
You were very aggressive last
Yeah,
month.
I know. I gotta stop having real coffee.
Yeah, I was not at that meeting, but my name shows approval of some of the motions, so you just have to take my name off it.
Yeah, there's twice.
This on the IDA, there's like two on the front page.
Of the
Didn't you know
LDC.
you had ghost powers? On the IRA, on the IDA.
And on unwritten rule, if you can't remember who said what, you just give it to Andy.
Right.
Can we have a motion to approve subject to those two changes, please?
I make a motion to approve.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The financials, Glenn?
Nothing on the IDA unless there's questions that come up. On the LDC. The balances, loan balance, lending balances under IRP. IRP 3 and IRP 4 do not reflect the payments that are coming out this month. So they're slightly different. IRP I meant to write these down before I left, so I apologize. IRP 1, that payment is $9,100 range. And then 2 and 4 had 2 is 33,000 and 4 is 32,000.
Okay, so under number 5, how can we have a balance of 350 and be able to lend 950?
Because we have 350 on hand, but we can draw down an additional 600,000 from USDA as we have loans.
That probably should be in the notes part of it.
Yeah.
Please.
And then also under the agri lending program, we have a payment that is coming up due for $667. That is, you know, similar to the IRP. That is money that we borrowed from the JDA. They have a much more aggressive payback policy than does USDA. So I'm gonna say it this way, and then you guys are gonna be like, what the hell? So on paper, we owe that amount. I am seeking either deferment or forgiveness of that amount, as was originally discussed when we took on this loan program.
So all these monthly payments are annual payments.
Oh, yes,
How
yeah.
many more do we have to go?
We'll have a IRP 3 payment in December. And then IRP 5 is still interest only. That'll be a few thousand. I think that's in April or something like that. Yeah, because we just closed on that, so that'll be April of 24. But we budget these in,
Right,
internally.
so should we run a balance that's due on that, because we're not showing a liability on our balance sheet. But we do have to pay it back,
On our
So-
annual financials, we do.
we do,
Yes, we do show that as our current liability.
just my memory's not that good.
Yeah, but yes, it does show up on our annual audit as being whatever it is for the coming year.
All right,
So that's it on treasurer's report items, loan report. Number 3, we just received a large lump sum payment, but it wasn't large enough, and so now they are due for September. Number 8, we just reached a modification agreement with them this morning. Sean and I met with them to get them current. Number 9, you were following up with them. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a call into them. We'll follow up. I called them yesterday. I haven't gotten back.
They just recently made a payment 2 weeks ago. I think was the last one. It was early September. But they still have some back payments due. Number 12, I spoke to yesterday. They have a closing on the facility scheduled for October 18th. I did confirm that with the buyer this morning. They will be paying us off. They're a little concerned about once all the checks are written, right on paper, they owe us 111,000. They have requested that we reduce that to 100. But yeah, that would be up to the board to decide. And also with that, because the sale is not going to make them 100%, they are going to hold a auction for any remaining equipment, which will be, they're working on when that will be scheduled, either shortly before or shortly after the October 18th closing.
And what's the reason why they're asking us to reduce it by, what, 11,000, you said?
Because they're concerned, they need to maybe not hit a home run at the equipment auction, but at least a solid double to come out whole, or to come out to break even. And so they asked, as a long-term business and long-term borrower of the county, if they could have some consideration on the loan balance. And I said I would throw it out to the board at a 10% reduction, but I wouldn't be asking for any more than that. And that's something we can probably discuss in a private setting.
Yep.
Is that in Delaware or Broome?
Or
Delaware. In Delaware.
Yep. Yep. Number 13, we have ongoing conversations regarding that modification. Number 16, we've had a payout amount request. There is an interested borrower. I don't think they're to a sales contract yet at this point, but it is looking promising. Because not only did they mention it to it, but our attorney also mentioned that, and as did someone from the Mark Project. Because they're involved with that community on a New York Forward application, and that's one of the targeted properties for being redeveloped.
Cool.
Number 10.
It's the same ones.
Oh, sorry, moving over to the LDC, number 10, Sean, that was with you.
Yeah, so we had a conversation yesterday. They are open to discussing a modification. I think we need to go back to them with a number. That, you know, we'll see if it's something they feel they can do.
Amount on the payment, or the overall?
On the payment.
Yeah, so the business is closed.
Yep.
They do have it listed for sale. They have back payments due both to us and the village of Sydney. And yes, I'm concerned about that, but we have a co-equal first position on the mortgage, on the property. I think we're okay there with the sale. What's most concerning to me is that there's back taxes due, 3 years worth. So we are willing to consider, which would have to come back to this board for approval, a modification in the loan payments in order to ensure that the taxes get paid. And we're just working through the details of that. Not that there is, so currently, they are eligible to come up for auction, but the county is still working on 2019 properties. So they're gonna get caught up, but it's not gonna,
Delays COVID.
it's not gonna be 3 more years for them to get caught up. Yes, exactly.
How much are the taxes that are past due? When you add them all together?
County was 18,000 and change, village was.
That didn't get added to the counties?
No, village does not.
Village.
No, town and school,
Does.
town and school and county are all rolled together.
So would it be? just
Village
the
is
county and the Village. So the village is probably gotta be paying 13,000.
Well, that, no,
The
the
county
county
includes
includes
the
the school.
Right, that's what I mean, but the village tax is probably gonna be around 13.
I didn't think that was the number. I thought it was somewhere between 4,000 and 6,000
For,
for the village.
that was about it, but they also had like
Yeah,
water.
but they have back loan payments to the village as well. Yeah, I think it was in the $6,000 range for back village taxes.
Okay.
They might not be the full 3 years behind on the village.
Right.
Oh, okay, loan, outstanding village taxes is 11,732.
Okay,
416 in water and sewer.
so yeah, that's our first priority, is to make sure that the property stays off that list, so that when it preserves it for when there is a sale. And then obviously getting repaid.
Yeah, my concern is that we should go in and have the water turned off and have the pipes drained. But if we don't, we're gonna have flooding in there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would
If he is gonna, we should talk to him about winterizing the building.
Yeah, I
if
think
he's not gonna
maybe
be in
we need to
operation.
have a
Probably go
call,
out there and meet. with him.
yeah.
Yeah. All right,
The village's debt is about the same as ours is in terms of dollars.
roughly, I think there might be another payment due to the village than is to due to us.
They have, loan payoff amount is 52,827.96
For
for the village.
for the village.
Yeah, in some, so,
It's a-
You're
Just
getting up
about
there.
where
yeah, so they're right about where we are. Maybe they owe us a little bit more
You
than,
get to like
maybe they're
50
one
or
payment
70,000
behind on us
total.
further than the village.
Like 35.
All right, number
That
18,
includes the building, he's gonna sell the building.
yes.
Okay, number 18, I have been speaking with them. They're looking to basically refinance that. They're looking for an additional amount. They've purchased a couple of other properties in Roxbury that they are looking to open up. One would be an inn, another would be a kind of tavern style restaurant, basically around the corner from where they are. So we're looking to basically restructure that and push it out a little further. That was the one that we had the issue where they had a change in the bank account. And
Yeah, that's what got
yeah,
them
that's what
behind.
got them behind, so. We were just kind of working out something new with them now.
A total restructuring that may include a new project as well.
Yeah,
I did skip over number 12. That's just a timing issue. They're, they typically just pay towards the end.
They're doing it very well.
Yes, but they're there.
Okay, going back to number 10, have you worked with Lisa on some of these?
That's where we got the numbers from.
Okay,
Yeah, so
Yeah,
Sean has been in contact with Lisa.
okay.
yeah, those numbers were sent over from her.
Very good.
And basically what we told her, I don't know if Sean did, or maybe it was a conversation I had her, is that we were gonna look to come up with a plan and then we get back in touch with the village. Cause obviously the village has to agree to it as well. 32 and 33, Tab's working on this one. There's just been some issues of payment, non-sufficient funds, where this count has gotten a little messy. Tab's doing a deep dive into it. But we're just showing them there. We believe that's what it is. Because of some issues there.
Is that a bigger question of a bigger problem?
I don't think so. Other than just management capacity.
But that's not different. So it's not a.
It's not a new, yes, I don't think there's a new issue related to that business, yes.
Okay.
And then number 35, that's just. We're working on that. And that's it unless there's
Okay.
questions.
And then can I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report, the loan report, and pay the bills?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, thank you. Glenn, you want to talk about the lending criteria? We're
Yes.
gonna skip Sheffield
Yep,
Estates.
Yeah, so, at the last meeting, it came up, I know I got it on the board, on Google Drive late, but we came up with some language, to try to address an issue of whether we're following the guidelines as they're contained in our loan application. So, yeah. So currently on our loan, yeah, oh, now I'm logged out. I hate this computer. Okay, so currently we have language in there on our loan application that, that says, yeah. Okay, thank you, Scott. All right, currently the language on our loan application says, commercial loan application or loan denial letter, if available, is a required document for applying. We just, in order to avoid instances or perceptions of not, or to clarify what that policy means, we wanted to add language to the extent, or to replace what's there with language that says, as a supplementary lender, the Delaware County LDC seeks to augment traditional financing, not replace it. Applicants must demonstrate that efforts have been made to receive bank financing prior to applying for a loan with the Delaware County LDC. And then just an allowance may be made under special circumstances at the discretion of the executive director. So what I mean by that is, if I feel it's warranted, we could move forward with an application that doesn't meet that specific guidelines. But then I would have to prove to the board, or prove to the board why I think that allowance was, should be given. And if you disagree, well, then you disagree. And that's fine. That's what is supposed to happen when things come here.
I don't know, crap. Well, it's crap.
Yeah.
I mean, the proper wording.
Yeah.
Not
It's our wording, we can say what we want. I had like 3 other versions and Sean came up with one, I came up with one. This is kind of the abbreviated version of the marriage between what Sean and I came up with. Because, trying to keep with the river runs through it philosophy, less is more when it comes to words. So
Is special, I'm just focused.
I used thesaurus multiple times. To figure out what the best word. Yes, special, I was gonna put extraordinary. But, in a technical sense, extraordinary only means other than the ordinary. But people can read extraordinary to be, it's gotta be, incredible. So, yes.
Exceptional?
Exceptional? What, yeah, but exceptional exceptions? Exceptional circumstances, yeah, but it's a gray area, and I don't think, I have no problem using any other word.
Just
I-
never take that out of it.
I think it's fine, and we can, that's the word justified.
Extenuating circumstances?
We're getting into the weeds.
Yeah, you're.
Just take special out.
How about just an allowance may be made at the discretion of the executive director?
There you go, there you go.
But also then they're like, oh, well, you can change that anytime you want. Well, nope, it's gotta be exceptional or special or certain.
Yeah, but if you change the wording, you're almost saying that once you decide it, then it's golden. That becomes our decision whether it's accepted or not. I think we should leave it the way it is.
Okay. It's closer.
I'm just not a
It's
fan of
closer to what we
special
want.
in any way. It's-
Okay,
Again, I'm not a lawyer, so.
Alright, so do we need to vote?
Yeah, I
on
need
this
a
to make
motion for
this,
that.
Yeah, I'll make a
the
motion.
New way we're doing things. Are you good
Second.
with this? It's special.
All right, I'm not an attorney, but applicants must demonstrate that efforts have been made to receive bank financing. What constitutes that? I mean, that's.
so in
that's
a
the
longer,
history with the-
so in a longer version, we had. Appropriate documentation includes loan denial letters or correspondence with a bank representative. And I am fine with that, but correspondence, strictly speaking, means either a letter or an email from a bank. A lot of times, if we're talking about a new business, they don't even get that far. They go and they're like, oh, well, you don't have, 24 months of history, we can't do it. Now, they don't provide that in writing because they don't want the bad press of, or not, but the bad juju of having
okay?
denied
You got a cough
somebody.
there?
Yeah. Of it, so a lot of times it's just conversational, and now I can follow up with them. And call, them and say, hey, they said they came, oh, yeah, they did, but they don't have this. Okay, could you put it in writing? No, we're not gonna do that.
Right.
So,
Damn bankers. It's back to damn bankers.
yeah. So we looked at that, and again, just trying to keep it as brief as possible. We took it out because. A loan denial or correspondence doesn't necessarily fill all the gaps. So then it's loan denial, correspondence, or a conversation. That's a little too loosey-goosey, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's not perfect, I know.
And there's always gonna be exceptions.
Special exception.
Special.
Under extraordinary or exceptional circumstances.
Now we're getting somewhere.
So what does our banker and residents state regarding this matter?
I'm okay with this the way it is.
All right. I don't want the banks to feel like we're
Okay,
kind
we have
of,
a motion in a second, or we need a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Glenn, you want Project
just-
updates.
Catskill Regional Harvest, really, Sean, you've met with Hazen most, so why don't you?
So we've had Hazen Reed come in. They had a photo shoot of the space. They're gonna have to come back. We have some issues with lighting and leaks in the building, so we have a contractor coming out to work on that. Once we get the plumbing, it should be a pretty straightforward fix. So once we get that settled and get the lights working. Yeah, so we're gonna get the leak stopped and the lighting working and get the rest of the photos taken. It's moving along, I believe. I'll have a quote from the contractor probably on Monday. If not sometime today, so they were out a couple days ago.
So should we approve it? Because we need to fix it soon as possible, or it rocks the floor.
Well, it's been,
Which it's gonna be.
He said it's not gonna be that much. That was what he said, so they're gonna give us the
So do
quote.
we
We'll
give
see.
you the authority to spend up to?
we have
500?
authority to spend up to 5,000.
No, okay.
Oh, it'll
Yeah.
Good.
fall
Yeah,
well
good.
within that.
Yeah, so we already have that
Okay.
to spend up to
We
5,000
just
for
need to get
maintenance.
that.
Because the point is. right.
It's minor, it's a sink drain.
Right,
It's a
exactly.
Think drain and dimmers that
Yeah.
are shot, so.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's probably some plumber's putty around the sink, maybe a new gasket, and then
Yeah.
some new switches.
It's a
That's it.
sink drain is, it's dripping onto the concrete floor downstairs.
You know, my son has gotten through the switch portion of his electrical program, so he could go out there and do it, but he's gonna charge us.
Yes, he
He's,
is.
yeah,
Under special circumstances.
under exceptional circumstances, yes.
If Glenn does it, he might be at the next meeting with an afro.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I don't bother looking for fuses or for
Breakers.
breakers, you
No.
know,
Yeah, it's wired.
just if you do it fast, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're probably just as quick.
Sure.
Oh, and so, just, there is one guy who has expressed interest, I have no idea what. Well, actually, there have been two people, who have expressed interest, and I have just said, contact Hazen. You know, that,
Never take you out of it.
Yes.
Move on.
So property sales, so our attorney is working on,
Wait a minute, sewer works.
Sewer Works Corp, sorry.
Actually skip that.
No, I didn't. So I did put year to date profit and loss and balance sheet in there. I've got hard copies here. People, I know this was another late ad. You can see I only did that yesterday afternoon.
Is this really a pool or is it that?
This is actually a accrual.
No. So why is there a difference between the two?
Because one is a payment, one payment further behind than the other entity.
So then that would really be cash.
Right,
Accrual means if you build them, you count it as income.
right. Whether they pay it.
But we're carrying it as a receivable. down here.
Right.
Okay, all right, all right,
This is.
That's how you do it.
okay.
I thought that was the case, but Bruce will help you at tax bill accrual accounting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going by QuickBooks. QuickBooks said it was accrual.
Yeah,
So,
QuickBooks will save Jeffrey, you wanted.
It's just a liar of a higher authority.
okay, all right. I'm just gonna stick to cash from now on. We're not gonna do accrual. All right. I'm here for it. I know that better. Okay.
Any thoughts, I keep asking this, but long-term assets moving from
Yes, we've got a,
here,
yes,
just here.
yes. Yep, that is a cleanup item for this year. Yes.
Don't wait, because the year end will be here before we know it, and then MM&S will be here.
Yes, I know.
Okay, all right.
It's on my list.
How far
How much do
down?
you think it is?
We're down.
It's healthy.
What do you think the number is, Glenn, the long-term assets? Ballpark.
1.5. That would be on a depreciated basis, in my opinion. Yeah.
So we have to move the list up on your list, and leave it down the bottom.
I know.
Shouldn't be page 3 of legal pad.
Yeah.
All right, I will get it up onto page 2.
Okay. We don't know how fast things come up page 1, but.
Yeah, I don't either.
About October, we're gonna ask if it's on page 1.
Well, I'll tell you how fast things come on. The first thing I wanted to do on Monday morning, the second I got into the office, I finished yesterday afternoon. So,
It's the same week.
yes, it's in the same week,
That's an improvement.
yes. But that thing that I wanted to get done on Monday morning, by the time I was getting to it on Monday morning, was already a week and a half old.
Yeah.
So, yes.
You have a right to keep silent.
Well, I'm gonna tell you the truth because, you
Simple
know,
yes with that.
What's that?
Simple yes with that.
okay,
Yes, we're gonna move it.
yes, we are. Very shortly.
Okay.
All right, now.
9
Under
Meredith,
exceptional circumstances.
Now I'm good for property sales on the agenda.
Okay, all right. So 9 Meredith and 115, there was the attorney to write up. Any news on,
Same old runaround with Fort Winkler. He had COVID. That was why he wasn't responding, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just staying on him. It's in my opinion, if we really want to move it, we could just probably list it. And I'll tell him that, once we list it.
yeah, we should.
And 10 grand an acre? 12 grand an acre?
10 or was it 20?
I thought it was 12, 10 or 12.
Oh, 10, yeah, because it's 2
10,
acres, yes,
10.
so it's 2 acres, so it's 10 an acre.
Okay.
So he hasn't put anyone down on this
No.
or anything, so we're still waiting for that.
Yeah. Yeah, just kind of, every time I talk to him, it's,
I had
I-
COVID,
Is
I
that the
was
window
traveling.
guy or
yeah,
from Jersey?
in Pennsylvania, he's got
Right.
operations there.
Yeah, that's basically what it is moving his Pennsylvania operation up into the city.
Like gonna be in direct competition with the Mennonite crowd that's over around Bainbridge or Afton Way? What is that? Vinyl people,
You're right.
Madison Vinyl.
Yeah.
Good luck with that, pal.
could be.
What about the old Kmart? Have we listed that now? The one that,
No, I haven't relisted that one yet. I had a call into Jackie. We got on a different conversation and I forgot to mention. So technically, the company whose contract they self-voided in August. I gave them what we would expect in new terms of the contract in that we're not allowing them a investigation period anymore. They've already used up their investigatory period. And then any new contract would just have to move straight to purchase. And I haven't heard back from them since.
So by listening, it's gonna tell them make a move or get off the pot, move out. Without, right.
One is tightening up.
Any other old or new business?
Rates are going down.
Uncertainty. Just a question regarding the website. I know we talked a few months ago about. Sorry, it just popped in my head and I thought something got the answer you're working on.
That's on page.
Under exceptional circumstances, it will be done shortly.
Surely has a lot of definition.
Yes.
In my head.
It's solely on me. Sean asks me once a week. Where is
Where
it?
it is on the priority.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you delegate?
And it is on, that is on the first page.
Is that on advice of counsel?
It's on the first page, but it's not done until the third page.
No, that's on page 1. That is on page 1.
I think
Page one
Wayne
is the
signed
short
to do
list?
your
Yes,
review
it
this
is on
year.
the short. list.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's in red so we can avoid it.
It's got
Okay.
an asterisk by it.
Any other old business? And can we have a motion to adjourn the IDA?
Motion to adjourn.
Should we go into executive session?
Well, isn't that under the LDC?
Oh, yes.
That's why I was,
That did-
I was gonna do it all
Technically it is,
after the LDC.
It's not listed there, but it should be, because the
Okay.
LDC is the
All right.
paper owner.
All right.
We'll call the LDC meeting to order and approval for the minutes.
Don't move.
Second, any discussion? We made changes, so all in favor,
Aye.
opposed? The approval of the financial report, the treasurer's report. And the invoices.
I'll go out on a limb and approve that.
Okay, second. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Glenn, you want to do a grade on the care that, or is it Sean?
No, I will do it, so, CARES Act, Rail Program Summary, I've got hard copies here again, because I was a little late. So we've done draw number 1, we just received the funding under draw number 2. Or here's one for me. And Jim looks like
Yeah,
he
another
doesn't.
one. Here, here's one for Sean. Let me have one more. Thank you, sir. Yep.
Okay, CARES Act. Okay, so we did draw number 1. We've received the funding, the 124,790 from the state this week. It's been transferred over to the LDC. Those are the 4 projects that will be funded through this. Since the LDC is the pass-through for this program on behalf of the county, we would just need a resolution from the board for us to go ahead and provide these grant payments to those 4 businesses. And if you have any questions, you can probably direct them to Sean if you want a good answer.
I'll move that we make these payments.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
How about the plan to draw number 3? Do we need to do anything on those?
No,
Cool
not
work.
yet. We're still working on those. The first one on that list is a what is it called? Resiliency grant.
Yeah.
So they have to buy the equipment that's associated with their resiliency project first. We just closed on that loan Monday.
Yeah.
And so they are using it to put a down payment on the equipment and then all on the processing portion of the equipment. And then some of it is going towards a bulk tank. Once they provide Sean with copies of those invoices and payments, then we can draw down the funds. And then that would make them eligible for receiving those funds. The second one on the list is just very difficult to get through. Are we close? We're waiting on them.
Waiting on them.
We're waiting on them.
Yeah.
And then the remainder, the third item is admin related costs that are eligible to come to us unless between now and the end of the year, we become aware of a business. And we've put the word out there, you know, for a year and a half now. But if something comes up from the woodwork, maybe we could do one more. Otherwise, we would use it to cover some of our administrative expenses to date on the program.
Website, oh, and program.
Yeah, on the program. Yeah,
If item number 2 doesn't get you the paperwork, at what point do you cancel that and give it to somebody else? Or can't you?
we could,
We could if we have someone else to.
if we have
Well, right
somebody
now
else
you
to
don't.
give it to.
But what was the criteria for this? It was something about COVID or?
Yeah, they had to have a direct loss on income between show up on their financials between 19 and 20.
Mhm.
Or they had to undertake some type of project to make them more resilient, either to COVID or to future endemics or other types of disasters. And they're very particular on what counts there.
No, we're-
So it makes it very difficult for it to be useful under that category.
Yeah, and I suspect that. You know, number 2 on there is gonna be getting us something. I had a couple calls with them this week about just getting it through and being done with it, so.
Okay.
And then the other one was our train to work program. So there was a summary of the businesses that received. Oh my goodness, what about this? Okay. I'm sorry. Summary of all the businesses that have received funding through our on-the-job training program to date. Originally, we received $338,026 from the county. Through our actual expenditures and those that are currently committed, we have $331,093.47 of actual expenditures or pending, leaving a balance of $6,932. The county does still have some ARPA funding available, and I was wondering if the board would authorize me to ask for another $50,000 of funding under ARPA to continue this training to work program.
Yeah, you need a
I
motion.
think
Yeah,
absolutely.
we should have a motion.
Second.
All in discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so now I'd just like to ask for another motion that says that the LDC will accept the $50,000 that the county has already said that they will give us under ARPA.
Second.
I forgot about the applying part when I talked to them.
Okay, all right.
So yes, that was already approved on Tuesday.
All right,
Good. So yeah, so now we have another 50,000. We figure that will be enough to get us through the end of this year, this calendar year.
Mhm.
And then after that,
Is Saputo or anybody involved in that?
no, so basically with this, it's targeting small businesses. So we don't have a hard cap, but we're marketing it to businesses with 50 or fewer employees. But if we were approached, we would consider those the larger companies, but for the larger companies, they're state and federal on the job training programs, and they have the means to handle those. So we have gotten calls, and instead of putting them into this program, we've put them into that. Whereas these smaller guys can't
Can't
do
do
the
that.
paperwork, so.
Somebody I saw somebody from Saputo yesterday. And they are looking for 40 people immediately.
Yes. Wow.
Glenn, I think this program is very successful and
That'd be.
I've
yeah,
heard-
for somebody.
Yeah, it's amazing.
heard a lot of good feedback on this. And I think now that we're getting extra funding to extend the program, we should make sure we get some press coverage out to cover that.
Mhm.
There's an end date on those funds, right?
Yeah, so they have to be, they have to be allocated. Not allocated, what's the word? Appropriated by the end of 24. They have to be expended by the end of 26. Yeah.
Okay.
But, you know, essentially the county's at the point now where they're out of ARPA funding. Now that's going through, okay, you received X. Where are you with the project? How much is actually left? And now they're going through the exercise of going back through and gathering any extra to make it available. I don't want to speak for the rest of the committee, but I do believe one of the priorities of the ARPA committee with any leftover funding would be to prioritize funding to continue Cornell Cooperative Extension's farm enhancement program. because they still have, oh, I forget the number, like 32 applications that they felt were of merit that have been unfunded. So, they were at the meeting on Tuesday. They, in my opinion, should have been more formal in their request. But the committee did kind of say, whatever's, if there's money left over, we have to give them a serious look. And so, again, since there is such, there is time and we're at the stage of letting other projects finish. It's probably will stay on the rack until like January, I think is our next meeting, or February. Are you at that meeting? No, what's her name was? Elizabeth was there, yeah. So I think February is their next meeting.
Okay. This point, we've got, somebody's waiting to come in on Zoom.
I'm just asking you guys because we have been spammed before, as you recall. Did anybody invite Evelyn Hume to this meeting? Or is that a name that you recognize for? We can wait
Sounds
until we
familiar,
stop
but
recording.
I don't know who it
Is
is.
that the KUHN from Hancock area?
I have
We can
no,
wait until we stop recording, so it's not part of the meeting if you like.
We're
You're
going to executive session here any minute.
yeah, we've got 10 minutes
Okay.
before Joanne calls in.
Yes,
So do you want to go into executive session?
yes.
I have a motion, please.
So
Just, okay,
For a contractual matter.
contractual.
Second.
Please. Okay, we,
so we need a motion to give Gwen the authorization to have a survey done.
Yep.
Move forward with, the boundary line adjustment.
I'll make that motion.
and to continue negotiations with Dominic.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Sorry.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
I guess that's all the motions we need. Any other old or new business? I have a motion to adjourn, please.
The move.
So moved.
Second.
Thank
So-
you.
I just messaged Tab, she'll be coming down with lunch, she was anticipating